Hello and welcome to the November Council meeting. I'm Mayor Kate Macon and I'll now introduce everyone else that is around the table. I have Deputy Mayor Laurie Hickey, Ruth Castrain, Councillor Joe Beard, Councillor Jamie Vogels, Councillor Geraldine Canady, Councillor Nick Cole. And the executive team, we have Mr. Sean Broadbent, Director of Works and Services, Miss Justine Linley, Director of Sustainability Development, Mr. David Harrington, Director of Corporate and Community Services. And I'd like to say a big welcome to Miss Catherine Anderson, our Manager of Governance and Civic Supports, who is day number 2 for us today. So welcome, Catherine. And we also have our CEO, Mr. David Ray. I'll move on. We'll go into the prayer. We ask for guidance and blessing on this council. May the true needs and well-beings of our communities be our concern. Help us, who serve as leaders, to remember that all of our decisions are made in the best interest of the people, culture and the environment of the Corangamite Shire. Amen. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land around Corangamite Shire, the Eastern Maar and the Wadawurrung people. We pay our respects to all Aboriginal elders and peoples past, present and emerging. Mr. CEO, is there any apologies tonight?
Madam Mayor, there are no apologies for this evening's meeting.
And do we have any conflicts of interest?
Madam Mayor, Councillor Castrain has declared a conflict in relation to item 9.4.
9.4?
Yes.
Thank you. Can I please have a confirmation of minutes from the 22nd of October and the 12th of November 2024, please? Do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Cole and a seconder? Councillor Beard? All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. There's no deputations or presentations tonight, so we'll just move on to committee reports. So 7.1, council appointment to committees for 2025. Mr. Ray.
Madam Mayor, thank you, and through you, following the election of council and the taking the oath of office and the appointment of mayor and deputy mayor, it's appropriate that council make appointments to the various committees of council. Council has 15 committees, and they range from a range of functions that are either advisory, there's statutory or external committees. The appointment to council to council committee assist in the good governance of council and really ensure there's appropriate representation across the domain of council, but also within the community. So there's a recommendation for council appointments. That follows a process where council was consulted with in terms of seeking expressions of interest. So the recommendations before you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Councillors, there's a recommendation before us. Do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Cole, do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Hickey. Councillor Cole.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This fairly procedural, really. There's not much in it, but everyone's put their hands up for different groups, and I think so. It's just procedural. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cole. Councillor Hickey.
Nothing further, just except to add that it's great that we can all be involved in the community on another level of governance. So very proud to take my place in the role too.
Any other commentary? If not, I put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. I move on to 7.2, Community Asset Committee Memberships. Mr. Broadbent.
Thank you, and through you, Madam Mayor. This report recommends Council appoint nominated members to 9 community asset committees that operate throughout the Shire. The asset committees are generally responsible for programming, minor capital works, and the primary point of contact for the community for various assets and facilities. Members of the committee are voluntary and they've been nominated as part of their annual general meeting process. The relevant committees include Cobden Aerodrome, Port Campbell Public Purpose Reserve, Timboon Sporting Centre, and various swimming pool committees including Camperdown, Cobden, Lismore, Skipton, Terang and Timboon. A minor amendment is proposed for the representation of the Cobden Aerodrome Committee, which has the support of council officers. It is recommended to appoint the members to the 9 committees as per the detail outlined in section 7.2 of the report. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr Broadbent. Councillors, there's a recommendation before us. Do we have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Beard, sorry. To second it, Councillor Hickey. Councillor Beard.
Thank you, and through you, Madam Mayor. Now, happy to move the recommendation to endorse the latest committee members for these pool, for the running of our pools. These committees obviously are endorsed each year. It's great to see that we've got a new breed of volunteers. We always talk about how hard it is to attract volunteers, but particularly in this setting, you see some of the kids coming through because their parents have been on these committees. And in particular, there's one of the young girls coming through in Cobden because her mum's been on the committee for many years. So it's great to see that new breadth of young people coming through, which we really encourage, and we also throw our arms around. So it's great to see that these type of committees can have that effect. It's a great way for young people to get into the realm of being able to be someone who can help and lead within their community. It's also, I want to say a massive shout out and thanks to those that are stepping down off the committee. Some of them have been on there for many years. And I think from my memory, when I was a parent with my kids coming through the swimming pools, it was usually the parents with the young kids had a real a commitment to those pool committees. So thank you to those people that have served many years on these committees and have now passed the baton on. So not going through each of them individually, I'd just like to do a massive shout out to those and thank them for their support because we cannot run these pools on our own. So as an organisation, we need the volunteers to help with that. And each of the pools, even though they structurally look a lot the same, each community, as we know, the aesthetics of a community is different. So having the committees in charge of how they'd like to see the pools operated and supported with obviously YMCA as the contractors, but knowing that they can help facilitate the events and knowing what the wants and the needs are of those communities, we can't beat the volunteers. So a big shout out to all of those that have put their hand up for the coming year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Beard. Councillor Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I endorse what Councillor Beard has said. Volunteers are very, very important and critical in managing our community assets. And it's great that there is a new lot of volunteers coming through. So mainly their role is to manage the assets, to have some local input as to how the direction of that management goes, and also some minor capex too as required to be approved by the council. So they're pretty important. They do have a purpose, and it's great to see people continually volunteering for that committee. So very happy to move that to second the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Hickey. Is there any other commentary? Yeah. Councillor Canady?
Yeah. I just, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to make the point that these committees are actually really, really important. I think sometimes we can forget that they are in fact managing council assets on our behalf, and that's a big role because, you know, they've got to make sure that those assets are run properly. They have to undertake the programming of those assets. They're obviously volunteers and the work that they're doing is for the benefit of the community, but they're also involved in supporting the development of those assets as well. So I just think that's just a small point that, you know, sometimes that this is actually an asset that belongs to the council that they're running on our behalf. And, you know, that's quite a big and important role, and I just want to recognise that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Canady. Is there any other? Councillor Castrain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you. And everyone's mentioned the volunteers, and they are just so important in running these community assets. But I'd also like to give a big shout out to the YMCA who managed the pools. A year before last with COVID, we had a shocker of a summer, and there was a lot of issues. But I think a lot of that was turned around last year, and it was a very successful season. So shout out to YMCA and our team of lifeguards, very capable lifeguards, but also the council staff who are busy getting pools ready to open for the season, and Jane Hines and Sean's team for the work that they do as well. So it's a real community effort with council, YMCA and the volunteers to get really good pools.
Thank you, Councillor Castrain. Any other? If not, I'll put the Councillor.
Sorry, through you, Mayor, just through right of reply, I'd just like to add, even though I focused on the pools, I don't want to dismiss how important the timber and the sporting centre and particularly the volunteers of the Cobden Aerodrome. We aren't in the business of knowing how to run an airstrip, but yet we have one. So we're very fortunate to have one and we're very proud to have one, but we need people who actually use it and that becomes it's their way of life and they're helping inform the direction of that. So they're the people we need to rely upon, and we're very fortunate at council. We've got very capable people, not only at the aerodrome, if I could use that as an example, but also at Timboon. And you know, we can't do it alone. So we have our staff, as Councillor Australian just made mention of, but we really do need people who live and breathe this every day to help inform what our direction and future projects need to be. So we are very grateful to have their assistance.
Thank you, Councillor Beard, for that right of reply. Nothing else, I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. I'll move on to 7.3, Audit and Risk Committee Biannual Report to Council, September 2024. Mr Harrington.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you. This report provides Council with a summary of activities undertaken by the Audit and Risk Committee since the last report to Council in March 2024. This report is provided in accordance with the Audit and Risk Committee Charter, but also with the Local Government Act, which requires the chairperson to report to Council every 6 months. During the review period, the committee met twice, on the 13th of March and on the 12th of September. There were no changes in committee membership during this period. A record of attendance and committee activities are provided in the report. The committee presented 3 recommendations to Council, 2 focus on policy updates and the 3rd on endorsing the financial statements and the performance statements. Mayor, it is recommended to receive this report.
Thank you, Mr Harrington. Councillors, there's a recommendation before us. Do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Canady, do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Hickey, Councillor Canady.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I'm very happy to support this recommendation. And I think we are all well aware of the purpose of the Audit and Risk Committee and the responsibilities that that committee undertakes. But I think obviously I don't need to go into the report. You've got that there in front of you. You can see all the activities that have been undertaken. But we are very fortunate here at Corangamite because we have some really great, highly qualified external members on our Audit and Risk Committee. You know, they have very specific credentials that are really pertinent to the role that the committee undertakes. So I think we can really have very high confidence in the oversight that our Audit and Risk Committee provides to us and the advice, any advice that they choose to impart to Council. So we can have a great deal of confidence in the recommendation before us, and I support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Canady. Councillor Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. The Audit and Risk Committee does play a very important role. I was on there for a couple of years, so I've got some learnings around that, and very pleased, Mr Harrington, to say that I'll be coming back onto the committee again from next year. So happy to second this.
No worries. Thank you, Councillor Hickey. Any other commentary? If not, I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. We have no planning reports today, so we move on to officers' reports. So item 9.1, Community Vision 2040 report card 2024. Miss Lindley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The purpose of this report, councillors, is to provide the end of council term report card on council's progress towards meeting the objectives and aspirations of the Corangamite community as outlined in the Corangamite Community Vision 2040. The community vision describes the community's aspirations for the future of the municipality, elaborated in 4 themes, namely future-proofing, people, livability and lifestyle, and prosperity and innovation. The report card looks at each of these 4 themes and provides a dashboard and commentary on actions and activities that Council's undertaken since June 2021 to contribute towards the objectives in the vision. The end of term review of the 2040 vision provided an opportunity for Council to check the alignment of our council plan and budget with these aspirations and the hopes of the broader Corangamite community. The review has confirmed that there has been progress made towards all 4 objectives, and with a strong focus during the last term on themes 2 and 3, particularly in relation to housing, transport and community infrastructure projects, and as well as sound planning for future growth. The review also highlighted that themes 1 and 4 are broader and more aspirational in their scope and will require further concentration of effort to develop strategies and plan for projects that make sure that these objectives, particularly in the areas of climate change, sustainability and whole of community wellbeing, are met. On this basis, it's proposed that those themes in particular be considered for future investigation as part of forthcoming work on the refresh of the Community Vision 2040 that's required for this council term. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Lindley. Councillors, there's a recommendation before us. Do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Hickey. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Gastrone. Thank you, Councillor Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a very important piece of work. I think it was President Eisenhower said during the Second World War that on a battlefield, a plan is nothing, but the planning is everything. And whilst this is going to take some considerable amount of years to achieve, it is the planning process that we're going through at the moment that is really important. It's important to recognise that there were 33 people who put their hand up way back in 2021, I think the start of 21, and they met mostly online because of the terrible pandemic that we were exposed to at the time, and which meant they were unable to meet face to face. However, they did come up with a fabulous report, which was not really surprising that many of the synergies were in line with our council plan too. As part of this progress, the report is done every 4 years, I think, and so that's the purpose of this report, to actually have a good look at what's been achieved under the evidence progress theme, and what's still got work to do. And so I'd say this report has progressed reasonably well, given that it's still a vision and still a long way to go. It's a very, very worthwhile piece of work that has been borne by the citizens' jury from our Shire. So I'm delighted to move the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Hickey. Councillor Gastrone.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and rightly so, Councillor Hickey said it's the Community Vision, 2040 Community Vision is a very important document, and it was very interesting to see at the time about the synergies in the council plan that council were developing independently. But when it came down to it, we realised that we were fairly much on the same page. Yes, we're only 4 years into this plan, so there is quite a long way still to go. A lot of the actions, when you're reading through the list, have already been completed. So obviously in preparation for the next term of council will be identifying those programs that projects can drop off, adding new ones, having a look to see what needs refreshing, is it still fit for purpose. I think, as Ms Lindley said, I think quite rightly we need to focus on the themes 1 and 4. You can see the biggie tick-offs, and you can see on the coloured metre about where we're sitting. But it is an aspirational document, but I think we've done a good job working through the first 4 years. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Gastrone. Any other commentaries? Councillor Vogels.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, looking through this, the list of actions is phenomenal. That's come up over the last 3 years to run in line with the visions. So I think it's a bit harsh on the speedo dial sometimes. It could be further more on the top end of the yellow moving into the green, because I just reading through the list of actions that actually fulfil the objectives is really good. And this is 3 years into the system, so another few years and there won't be much left behind.
Thank you, Councillor Vogels. Any other commentary? If not, I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried. I move on to item 9.2, the Finance Report September 2024. Mr Harrington.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and through you. This report presents Council's financial position at the end of the September 2024 and seeks approval for budget variations during the quarter. Council's financial performance for 24-25 remains on target. The year-to-date cash variance is $569,000 favourable to forecast and is mainly due to supplementary rates, increased investment income, and the timing of the delivery for operating projects. The report outlines several budget variations for the quarter, which largely offset each other, resulting in a modest net increase of $14,494. Mayor, there is a recommendation for you.
Thank you, Mr Harrington. Councillors, there's a recommendation before us. Do I have a mover for that one, please? Oh, Councillor Beard and Councillor Castrain. Councillor Beard?
I was going to say Councillor Castrain can take it if she wants, but no, thank you, and through you, Madam Mayor. Look, I think when you look at our budget as a whole, and anyone who follows a council budget can see just how many projects, how many operating costs are involved. I mean, it's a huge document, let alone the work that goes in behind it. So to consider that it's pretty minimal when we get these updates, a quarterly update, to see that there's that much movement. It is minimal. As I said, considering how many projects, how many operating costs, how many ins and outs there are, this is pretty formidable. So it just goes to show how much of a tight line there is when it comes to what gets done from our council. And also it doesn't just come to us. I mean, it goes through audit and risk as well. I mean, everything is looked over so many times. So I'm really comfortable at where we're sitting. We've always been really proud of the fact of how we manage our budget. And I say that we, because it gets to us after all the little, T's are crossed and the I's have been dotted. By the time it gets to us, I mean, it's really been under the microscope. So I say we because it is a whole organisation that gets to this point. And to see all those line items and to where we get to when it comes to us, it's pretty formidable, to be honest, in regards to how close we are to the figure at the end of the day. And we're still doing really well. I mean, in comparison to many other councils and even when we look at the federal budgets, I mean, you only have to hear the news at the moment in how much despair they're in. We're doing well. So I hope our ratepayers are confident that not only us as council can make really good decisions, but it's also our organisation and our staff are really sticking to what we walk the talk, basically.
Thank you, Councillor Beard. Councillor Castrain?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and like Councillor Beard, I've had a good look through it, and it's interesting to see how many projects, particularly in our capital works, are in progress. There is a lot of work being done. There's a $36 million budget, and while at this stage we've only delivered, a small portion of that, there is an awful lot of money that's still got to come out of there, particularly those the big project around Port Campbell. So shout out to the team. I think we're in a good financial position, and let's hope we get some good weather. An early break in the rain I think we need, but we'd like some good weather to make sure we can deliver as much of this capital works budget as we can.
Thank you, Councillor Castrain. Any other commentary? Councillor Canady?
Thank you, Mayor. So, we make our budget, and I think we always know that there's obviously going to be an expectation of some variance in that budget because that's the real world, isn't it? But I think what I really love about our finance team is that they just explain the detail behind those variances that we see, and also what's driving the variances. And I think that's really important going forward when you're looking at your finances and working out where they're going to land at the end of the year. And I have really strong confidence in our finance team in that regard. I mean, Councillor Beard spoke to that at some length. But we know why it's where the variances are coming from, and we also know that our financial position remains stable and that we're on track. So I'm really confident in supporting, not that I moved it, but I'm confident in the recommendation before us, the motion.
Thank you, Councillor Canady. Any other commentary? If not, I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 9.3, the Business Assistance Scheme, November 2024. Miss Lindley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Business Assistance Scheme provides business, building owners and community the opportunity to apply for support from Council, which can include financial assistance, and is a rolling program. In other words, it's open year round. At the Council meeting on the 16th of September, Council resolved to authorise the CEO to approve grant applications received and assessed during the election caretaker period, and to report on any grants made during that period at the first ordinary meeting of Council after the declaration of the poll, which is this meeting. One application under stream 3, Community Enterprise, was approved by the CEO in accordance with the delegation, and this was for the 12 Apostles Food Artisans Incorporated, to include the development of a new website, training and upskilling that will enable the group, which is an incorporated not-for-profit group, to self-manage the content and coordinate the ongoing updates for the 12 Apostles Food Artisans website. The funding assistance granted was $2,000 excluding GST. Applications for business assistance will now revert to being provided to council for determination. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Ms Lindley. Council, there's a recommendation before us. Do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Castrain, do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Vogels, Councillor Castrain.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is a really good grant opportunity for businesses throughout Corangamite, and I'd really put a big shout out to them that they're, we're 5 months into the financial year and there's only been about $9,000 take up on this, which is unusual considering that the Business Facade Improvement Grant, which was consistently oversubscribed, and we had $50,000 in there. So people, I don't think businesses aren't aware that the things have perhaps changed a little bit, so they need to get on the council website and certainly look at what is now in this grant field for their businesses. We want all business to thrive. We want people to shop locally. That's really important. But maybe there's some little tweak you can do to your business, whether it's in material, in painting the facade, or it's as the 12 Apostles of Food Artisans are getting money to upgrade their website. So I hope there's a run on this $81,000. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Castrain. Councillor Vogels.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Back in everything that Ruth said, there's still a fair whack out there, and a little bit of money goes a long way. Sometimes it can be the difference between something starting and happening and not. And this one that's coming through at the moment is obviously handy to promote, so people can stay on top of new technology and fix up their website, because it's a rather important thing these days when tourists Google stuff, and a nice looking website that looks after you is more likely for you to follow it through and follow up. And for other businesses out there, have a look, and the better you do, the better everyone does. So just get out there and make it better.
Thank you, Councillor Vogels. Any other commentary? Councillor Beard.
Thank you, and through you, Madam Mayor, I'm going to take this opportunity, just as Councillor Australian actually alluded to, about supporting local. And I'm going to take this opportunity to remind everybody out there, whether you are the business that's applying for some support or you're a local business, let's try and all work together. Everybody's doing it tough out there with the rise in, in the cost of living. You only have to go around most of our community businesses, and everyone seems to be doing it tough, and it is a hard time of year. But whenever we think about we're going to do some improvement, let's look locally first. And even though you may think that there's a business that they may not be able to help you, let's give them the opportunity. When you often talk to some of the businesses, especially tradies and that too, they just want the opportunity to quote, at least get their name in the game. So this is why I love the business assistance scheme, because we have actually stated in the policy that preference is to support our local businesses. So let's not forget that. I think that's a really good message, that let's continue to try and support our own where we can and keep our economy, really strong, and our businesses strong in Corangamite. So I'm glad that we've highlighted that there's lots of opportunities still for many people to apply, but let's not forget that let's try and look after locals wherever we can when we want to do a project.
Thank you, Councillor Beard. Anything else, councillors? If not, I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Move on to item 9.4. Councillor Castrain.
I do have a material conflict, general interest, Madam Mayor, as one of the applicants is a member of my extended family.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'll move on to item 9.4, the Ready Now grants for June to October 2024. Ms Lindley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Ready Now Grants program supports the community with small grants to volunteer-based community groups for proposals that are not readily able to be considered under the Community Enabling Events and Festivals, Facilities or Environmental Grants programs, which are annual programs. Over the last 4 months, between June and October 2024, 17 applications were lodged, with 15 grants approved over that period of time. The applications approved and funding provided are listed in the report that was provided to Council. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Ms Lindley. Councillors, as a recommendation, do I have a mover for that one, please? Councillor Cole, Councillor Canady. Councillor Cole?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Ready Now grants, I've been a supporter of them all along. I believe they're a wonderful way of us, a committee group or whatever in the Shire, of accessing a small amount of money. The small amount of money can make a big difference in a big way in a small group. And if you look through here, there's a list of all the things that have been sponsored. Southwest District Restoration Group up at Lismore replaced club entrance signs. Compton District Historical Society, 2 promotional road signs. Camperdown School, swimming pool, committee of management, additional seating. All sorts of different things can be applied for. There are a few requirements, and it pays to ring and check beforehand and make sure you fit the bill. But it's well worth trying, and the crew will help you out and make sure you qualify as well. So I've no hesitation in moving this.
Thank you, Councillor Cole. Councillor Canady?
Thank you, Mayor. Even though the ceiling, if you like, of the grants is it's $500, I'm correcting that, aren't I? Whilst it's not a lot of money, the thing is that what I love about this is that when you look at the organisations and the committees that have made the applications, they're really heart and soul of the community, and they're providing and giving so much back to all levels of community, and it's just so lovely to be able to provide some support to them, that enables them to continue to do the work that they do and the support that they provide back to the community, and all that benefit that's going back to the community just through this program. And just as Councillor Cole has said, the size of the grant's not huge, but it's one that makes an incredible difference in the community, and I think that's just what makes this particular program just so worthwhile. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Canady. Is there any other discussion? Councillor Vogel, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think it's just highlight that the moving it from quick response grants to Ready Now grants has been a really good move, and it actually makes them quick response grants because they can get out there quick, and it is small amount of money that touches a lot of people. When you flick through it, there's a hell of a lot of people touched by these small amounts of money, and I see just reading through them and just go, oh yeah, I know, I've seen that, I was at that, and so on. So that's going really well.
Thank you, Councillor Vogels. I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. I'll just get Councillor Castrain back in the room. So I move on to item 9.5, the Port Campbell Town Centre Revitalisation Project Deed Variation. Ms Lindley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This report recommends that Council consider a proposed deed of variation to contract 2023-017 for the Port Campbell Town Centre project, mainly to amend the timing of delivery of works in packages referred to as separable portions, namely separable portion A, separable portion B, and the creation of a works package for separable portion C. The report also proposes an extension of the completion date for the services agreement with RMIT University for the integrated art component of the project. From late May 2024, after variations to the main contract were made and signed by both Civil Now and Council, works commenced on separable portion B. At the same time, Civil Now continued to implement the original works as part of a separate portion A, which was predominantly the foreshore area in Port Campbell. During that period, there have been several unforeseen impediments outside the control of council or the lead contractor that have led to delays in the delivery of the planned construction program. And these impediments included the discovery of asbestos piping throughout the site, which has required removal in part, the discovery of unmapped utilities or utilities in locations that were in conflict with the construction plans. Those utilities included telecommunications, power and stormwater, delays in the responsiveness of some utility providers, and several redesigns required, in particular for the decking system, including a new approach to the footings to be installed under the Norfolk Pines in Lord Street so as not to damage the root systems of those significant trees. Consequently, a review of the project delivery program was undertaken with the cooperation of Civil Now, and following a formal request that was made in accordance with clause 34.7 of the contract, a revised draft catch-up plan and detailed program for delivery was requested. This request was made on the mutual understanding that some works may be required to be transferred for delivery in 2025. If that transfer was to happen, a new deed of variation would be required for the contract. So if approved, the deed of variation will introduce a revised practical completion date of the 31st of March 2025 for works that will be included as part of separate proportion C. The integrated ARP component of the project is progressing well, with the first of the 7 individual cast iron tiles installed in front of the Port Campbell Friendly Grocers last Friday. And in summary, there are no changes to the budget for the project, and works are being completed in accordance with the requirements of the contract and Council's procurement policy and the project's probity plan. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Ms Lindley. Councillors, there's a recommendation before us. Do I have a move for that one, please? Councillor Vogels. Do I have a seconder, please? Councillor Canady. Councillor Vogels.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Happy to support the recommendation, and just sort of noting that the bulk of it will be completed. It's not pushing the whole lot. They're going, oh my God, it's not finished till the 31st of March. These, if you go through them, a lot of the touch-up stuffs, finishing off things and stuff that really can't be done at the moment because it's where it is around the surf club and that. I haven't actually been down to see the installation of the artwork, so I'm keen to get down there. I've seen photos of it and that looks really good, but we did go down the other day and have a good look around, and it's very high quality work that they're putting in down there. But rest assured, at this stage, as far as I'm aware, and 99.9% certain, all the bitumen will be down before Christmas, and nearly all the footpathing shall be done. And anything that isn't done will be made safe. The construction gear will be gone out, so you've got a clear run between Christmas until after New Year, and then it'll be come back and some finishing off stuff. So fingers crossed. And if you get a chance to get down there and support the businesses down there, because there has been a lot of construction and a lot of disruption to their businesses. So if you are local and you're avoiding it because of the construction, probably it'd be better if you didn't avoid it. Get down there and support our businesses because they are doing it hard. But fingers crossed. I can't wait to get this ticked off the books and to separate into 2 portions, just to make it all easier to legally do it, because it goes over that completion date. I'm fine with that. And the extension of the artwork is obviously because the extension of the other things, and it can't actually go in. So no issues there. So more than happy with this recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Vogels. Councillor Canady.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, Councillor Vogels has spoken to some detail there, but you know, when you look at this is a $16 million project. I mean, it's of substantial scale. Like, we're tearing up streets, and you know, it's an enormous amount of works to be done. And if you want to put the realistic lens across that, you know, a project of this scale, there are going to be hurdles, there's going to be barriers and unexpected ones at that. And certainly we've encountered a number of unmapped subsurface works, some unknown subsurface works, and obviously, they create delays, impediments to the progress of the works, and that's exactly what we're seeing played out. And we've had numerous updates on this project. We've even there's been multiple meetings with the parties that are affected by the project, including the contractors as well. And I think that our officers have worked extremely hard to manage this project and to manage it with a lot of significant challenges as well, along really from the beginning of it. And I'm really impressed with the work that they've done and how clever they have been at breaking up components of the project so that we could get progression. That we actually even had a contractor to do the works in the first instance. So, really, I'm very supportive of this recommendation, and really I think the very fact that we've got this recommendation in front of it speaks to the very fact of the officers working so hard to make sure that this project is going to continue to progress to a conclusion as soon as possible and in the best possible way. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kennedy. Is there any other commentary?
Oh,
Joe, Councillor Beard, sorry.
yes, thank you, and through you, Madam Mayor. Look, at the end of the day, we want this project finalised and done as much as everybody else. But I mentioned earlier this afternoon, we still want it to be of quality, a quality outcome as well. So I'm glad that we're not rushing it through and just trying to get it ad hocly finished just to appease because of the time of year it is. At the end of the day, you cannot build and construct in winter, in the wet months. So this was our only opening. This is a project that's been mooted for years and years. The biggest project that we have ever undertaken in terms of the amount of money that this organisation has committed, the manpower, and I speak women and men, in terms of the manpower that's been spent on this project alone is so significant that we'll probably never see it again. We're grateful to the businesses for working with us, and we are very considerate to what they've got going on. Nothing's perfect, but there's been so many hurdles and unforeseen circumstances and challenges that has just been outlined that we are lucky to have got to this stage. Councillor Kennedy just said that, to even get to a variance point where we can still see a light at the end of the tunnel is still significant. I'm glad that Councillor Vogels can still walk down the main street. I mean, it's been challenging for everybody. And I'm really proud. We all went down there last week and we got to see that, yes, it's a construction site, but look how far it's come. Look how incredible it's going to be. And I can guarantee you there's a lot of places, not only in Corangamite, but around Australia that would absolutely love to have that happening within their community. So I think we need to look really positively towards the end of it. We're getting there, we're nearly there. But these sort of things, in reality, they have to happen. And to know that we're still on target with budget, we haven't had to compensate in terms of quality. There's been a few little, pivots here and there, but the actual structural integrity of the project as a whole, I think it's something we should still be really proud of and excited about. So I just want to say thanks to everyone for sticking it out, basically, and we're nearly there.
Thank you, Councillor Beard. Any other commentary? Councillor Vogels, you want to write a reply?
Yeah, but I'll just finish off. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and like we've seen on the foreshore, so don't get disheartened if it looks like it's not going to be finished in a hurry, because as we've seen on the foreshore, it still looks like a full-on construction site, and then 2 days later it's bitumen and it's all open and accessible. So like most things, a lot of the hard work is hidden in the background, early works, and then the finishing touches sort of turn it from a construction zone into a finished product in a hurry. So look, don't get disheartened if it still looks like there's a lot of construction going on as it gets closer up, because we've had some pretty good guarantees that she'll get finished.
Thank you, councillor Vogels. If there's nothing, I'll put the recommendation to a vote. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. Item 10 is other business. Councillors, do we have any other business we'd like to raise at this point in time and moment?
If I may, Mayor.
Councillor Hickey, yeah.
It just occurred to me whilst we're listening to the business assistance scheme and the 12 Apostles Food Artisans Incorporated success with their assistance. Last Saturday, I took the opportunity to head down to Timboon to the Graze the Day event that was held down there in the in the amphitheatre, and it was a very successful day by any manner. It was certainly a warm day, and it was a great place for everyone from the Shire to be able to come along and meet with fellow residents and talk about all things important. It was a great opportunity to be able to see the refurbished stage down there and to actually witness the fabulous acts that were on the stage that kept everybody entertained right through to the final one at 5 o'clock, which was lively, I think would be the word, when they danced around and got everybody involved. It was a fabulous day. So full credit goes to the organisers of it, for our Shire employees and the volunteers from the Graze a Day Committee. Also the artisans, the food artisans down there, the brewers who were there, and the winemakers and distillers. It was a great opportunity to be able to come and showcase what is on offer down through the southern part of the Shire. And it was, yes, certainly a day that I'll be looking forward to seeing next year, next November the 5th. 22nd. I did announce that the other day too, didn't I? It's the 22nd. So I'd certainly put that into the calendar. Great day and very well done by everybody who was involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hickey. Councillors, is there anything else? Councillor Cole.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to add to Councillor Hickey's statement about Graze a Day. There was also a guitar maker down there, and some people have now taken up a new hobby, because I saw some guitars walking across going up. Some people bought some guitars.
But they were special guitars, weren't they?
They were special guitars. Every guitar's special.
But why were they special, Councillor Cole?
What they're called cigar box guitars. They're very easy to play, and people should take them up as a hobby, because it's a great hobby.
Thank you, Councillor Cole. Is there anything else, councillors? No. We move on to item number 11, open forum. Mr. CEO, is there any online questions?
Madam Mayor, there's no questions from the online live stream.
Rightio, and there's been no statements or questions submitted to the open forum part.
No, Madam Mayor.
There's members in the gallery. Does anyone want to hop up and have a talk or speak? Mr. Mulholland, you're more than welcome.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's very nice to hear that the Shire's finances are doing very well, and I must admit that when I go around, I see that a lot of people are doing it hard, but there's two things that I'd like the Shire to consider, and that is the state roads aren't being looked after by the state. And you might say, Les, what can we do about it? Well, you can't be nice about it, because the state isn't being nice about it. And I know this sounds silly, but the Shire should consider any state roads that need work on it, fixing it and sending the bill to the state government. Now, that's not normally done, but we're not in normal times. And the excuse for doing that is we don't wish to see anyone injured or killed in our watch, in our Shire. And whilst it's a tough remark for me to make on the roads, and it's the state government's job, they're falling behind, and it's times where you've got to make some very tough decisions. And the other thing that I comment on is the amount of rubbish that's being dumped around the place. And for instance, like a tractor tyre, $200 to take it to our landfill. I do not put any blame on the Shire. because the EPA has made it that way that the Shire has to break even or make a small profit. But if there's some way the Shire could sort of say, all right then, for this week, clean up your backyard, bring it into the landfill, and we will forego any fees or something like that. I think it would help to clean up the area. And it's times like these when things are tough that you've got to make some tough decisions as well. And I just put the suggestion to you that the constituents will love you for making the right tough decisions. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr Mulholland. We do have green waste that you can take to the landfill at the moment, but maybe we might have to consider expanding that. We'll see what happens. But thank you for your statement. Anyone else? No, all good. If there's nothing further, I will call this item of meeting to a close. So thank you all for tuning in and stay safe, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you.